This episode was suggested by Savage Bart and Skylar T. Thank you. Another day, another Derby profile. Today's episode is on Track Phantom. Let's go! First up, the stats. 7 starts, 3 wins, 2 seconds, 1/3. That's the most starts we've seen so far this season, with earnings of $405,000. For major races, after taking 3 tries to break his maiden, he was off on the Derby trail, with a win in the Gunrunner Stakes, accruing him 10 points. Then he got 20 points with a win in the Lecomte Stakes. Then he was second in the Risen Star Stakes, getting him 25. And lastly, he acquired 15 points with a 4th place finish in the Louisiana Derby. For running style, it's pretty plain and simple. He's a frontrunner. He goes to the lead, usually thanks to having an outside post in most of his races. He has to cross over, and then he sets a modest pace, usually about 3 parts to half a length in front of the nearest opponent. And then, at the top of the stretch, he tries to hang on for dear life, with mostly successful results, but it's not a perfect science. For strengths, he is a consistent, hard-working animal. That really is his greatest asset. In 7 starts, he's never run a truly bad race. He always goes to the lead and has something left to at least try and fight for something. Sometimes he wins, sometimes he loses. Just a nice horse. He's a quick starter, which is great for a front runner, and he finished in the top 3 in his first 6 races, which is a great display of consistency. Also, if we're only focusing on his starts around 2 turns, he has won 3 of 5 races, making him look a bit better. Also, he's already won at Churchill Downs, so he has a slight home court advantage in comparison to some horses in this field. But now let's get to the weaknesses. He has been beaten multiple times by other Derby contenders. His greatest strength is summarized just as simply as his greatest weakness, that he's outcompeted by other horses. He also has finished worse the further he runs in terms of distance. He was doing pretty well with the short routes with his first 3 wins. Then when he stretched out to a 1.125 miles, he lost to Sierra Leone. Still a pretty good start. And then when he was stretched out even further to a 1.316 miles in the Louisiana Derby, he finished 4th, his worst performance so far. So he doesn't seem very enthusiastic about a 1.25 miles, which is concerning, because if you're going to be a frontrunner in the Kentucky Derby, you're going to have to bear a lot of responsibility, and you're going to need some stamina if you're going to want to hang on. Also, not helped by the fact that most of his races have been under slower paces. The Kentucky Derby historically is a race with a fast pace. And besides the Gunrunner Stakes, which was decently fast, but still a bit slower than an average Derby start, he has not really dealt with fast paces and has had a relatively easy time getting the lead. The Kentucky Derby is where things go wrong. So this could be the race where he either shows his true mettle and stretches himself out with a great front-running performance and finishes well, or it's the race where he runs his worst and fades badly. One or the other. So overall, I would say that Track Phantom is a nice horse, but he's not a great horse. Just missing out on top tier, frequently being shown to be just below the level of the best Derby horses in this field. So for that, I'll give him a B grade. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Derby Profile. Comment down what horses you want to see me cover next time, and I will see you on the flip side.